Hello, it's Mandy here. I want to talk about Blanchard's taxonomy of transsexualism or transgenderism. I don't remember exactly what it's called, which is the claim that male to female transgender people are doing it because they sexually want to become female. They have a sexual desire to be female or to have feminine characteristics. And I'm not saying that nobody who has ever transitioned has that. And I'm going to come back to that. But first of all, I'm in a particularly good position because in the past I have had very strong paraphilias, although they weren't to do with autogynephilia. So I can put them side by side and compare them. Now, the difference is, as far as I'm concerned, that if anything came up about the object of my desires, as far as the paraphilias are concerned, I would feel an immediate arousal. It would be very much a turn on for me and I couldn't stop myself. It would just be there. Now, I just want to explain that I've described myself as asexual in the past and I'm sticking to that. The reason I describe myself as asexual is that I have no desire to have sex with other people. And to all intents and purposes, that's how it is, and it's not. And I actually hold on to the paraphilias, or I held on to the paraphilias, because it stopped me from wanting to have sex with people, and I would rather not have sexual feelings with people because I think it distorts the way your mind works, and it's not fair on the other people a lot of the time to lust after them. So that's how I see it, and that's why I held on to it. But anyway, so these paraphilias, there wouldn't be any conscious intervention. There would just be like, whoomph, turn on. And if I can actually put the desire to be female next to that and compare it, and I would say that if I think about being female, it is obviously overwhelmingly desirable to me, but not in a sexual way. It's more like, if I think about being male, it feels like there's some horrible lack. There's something I haven't got. It's like I don't know what it's like not to have a missing limb, or to be to have some kind of congenital malformation. But I imagine it's probably quite similar, is that some of the time you feel very unhappy about that lack, that absence. And it's also, my body's doing all these things and being all these things that I don't want it to be. I have organs that I don't want. I have probably mental, well, definitely I had, to some extent, mental and emotional processes that I didn't want to happen. And also it was making me physically ill. Just the very fact that I had, as far as I was concerned, too much testosterone and not enough estrogen was making me really ill physically. It was making me depressed, irritable, anxious, obsessive, all of this stuff, and other stuff too. It wasn't just to do with body dysmorphia. I could have looked physically female, and and with the same condition, I don't know. I mean, I would have had that lack, and it would still have been a condition, although that doesn't exist, obviously. So you've got, your body does stuff that you don't want it to do. Your body is doing things, horrible things, and just really nasty stuff, which is not, there's nothing wrong with a body doing that stuff. It's like, if you're male, then fine, but, well, I'm not. So I've also found, so it isn't similar at all. Now, it could be sublimated, but if it was sublimated, I would think that at some point I would have had the usual processes that you get, the arousal, the erection, a little bit of, I mean, I don't want to be too graphic about that, but you know what I mean. And thinking about being a woman doesn't do that. It just, that thing carries on sitting there doing nothing. And I just feel a yearning, like, I don't know, maybe a homeless person would like to have somewhere to live, or an unemployed person might like to have a job. But that doesn't mean they're sexually aroused by the idea of getting a job or a home. So I'm going to ignore that because this is a second take. Since I've been on hormones, I found that the paraphilias have disappeared. but the desire to be physically female has grown. Now, it could be that it's replaced that, as in the sexual desire is now that. But again, I'm not having any of the normal physiological responses to sexual arousal, and that's not because that stopped happening. It's because that's not what it's about. I just really don't think that's what it's about. But suppose it was. Suppose there are people, and I think there probably are people out there who have transitioned in connection with sexual desire. If they're going to do that, you need to give them help. I have another channel, as you know, and on that channel, I concentrate on attempting to help people do one of the paraphilias that I am involved with, that I have, safely. If you think about it as, and this isn't my paraphilia, but if you think about it as like autoerotic asphyxiation, if people are just going to have the urge to do that, then you probably want them to do it safely. You don't want them to go out and kill themselves. And so if it is a paraphilia for some people, surely you want them to transition safely. You don't want to be hacking at their genitals with razor blades. You want them to have some sort of controlled, careful transition, don't you? I mean, it may be a waste of resources, but it still seems that there's a case for doing it, even if it is in some cases autogynephilia. And the other issue is transhumanism. If you want to have control over what your body does, for example, extending the human lifespan, increasing people's health and so forth, and also using the body as an art form, so for example, tattooing, maybe some kind of implant that would enable you to access the internet with your mind in a safe way, or something like that, or something that enhances the human condition. Well, for whatever reason, the ability to transition easily between genders would be quite desirable. Now, this is now slipping off, so I need to finish now, so I shall see you. Bye.